Hi everybody, I just want to give you an update of what's happening in the garden space. My green stock is filled with strawberries. There is 36 plants of strawberries there. Over here, these are all peppers. I did way too many. Oh, and there's some more peppers here too. I grew for the first time, I don't know if anybody's into herbal medicine, but this is lemon balm. This makes a fantastic tea. So I think I have, let me count, oh my goodness. Okay, between these two trays, that tray, there is 70 pepper plants. I cannot grow that many. And I have more, not counting the ones that are down there. So I probably have close to 80, maybe more. These are all the tomatoes here. These are Ziotoni's tomatoes. Ziotoni, I'm coming this weekend. So I have his tomatoes and I got peppers for him. This is baby greens, so there's lettuces in there, there's kale, there's arugula, all that kind of nice stuff. These are my micro mini tomatoes. I got Swiss chard on this one. This is spinach. The kale is growing fantastic. This one's called Ragged Jack. This is your, I can't remember what this one is. Can't remember what that one is, but I have different varieties of kale. The kale is looking fantabulous. This is all spinach. Oh, I just busted that leaf. Oh well. Oh well. We eat kale from the garden. It's organic. No pesticides, all organic. Where these two boards are is carrots under there. My garlic is over there. Look how big the kale is. There's another micro purple. This one's called Golden Hour. So everything's looking good. Spinach is looking good. Now for Mother's Day, Mass did this. I couldn't get, this is an 8 by 8 foot bed, and I couldn't reach anything in the middle, so I never got planted, and I just did like kind of the outsides. So he cut it in for me, so that way I can go in and reach everything. These are beets. These are turnips. Those are beets over there. I'll show you what's under here. I got broccoli growing under here, and I got cabbage. That's a pagoda cabbage. Some more cabbages over there. I don't know if you can see. So my broccoli and cabbages are looking fantabulous. Over here are onions. These are onions. These are red onions. You can see the red in there. I got green onions, I got leeks, white onions. These are snapdragons that I'm growing. Over here I planted seeds. So this is a Kajari melon. This one is, it's called a Long Island cheese pumpkin. There's some more here. This one is, oh, we got a mystery. The tag came off. We're gonna plant that and figure out what that is. This is a Munchkin sunflower. These are Munchkins. They're great for bouquets because they have no pollen. This is a nasturtium. So there's some like more things in there. More lemon balm. This is celery. Oh, this is moringa. You ever heard of moringa? These are zinnias. This is, I don't know what that is. This is hyssop. That's a great herb as well for tea, for women's issues. This is chamomile. Oh my gosh, this makes the most beautiful chamomile tea. This is fantastic. Oh yes, I grew all of those from seed. My downstairs looked like a grow-up. It had like so many plants all over the place. There's still stuff down there. I'm growing sweet potato vines for the sweet potatoes. What else is down there still? Sweet alyssum, because I like that as a ground cover for the garden. Attracts the pollinators and it smells really pretty. What else do I have? Oh, I have dahlias growing. I have straw flower. I have status. I want to grow a flower garden, specifically a bouquet garden. So I curated plants where they are great for cut flowers. So my table can have a bouquet of cut flowers all season long. So that's what's growing. I wanted to talk to everybody about, so the reason why I have stuff planted, because there's certain things that don't mind the cold weather. So if you have a hoop house like I do with the white plastic there, you can start planting in there in April. So cabbages take a long time and broccoli take a long time. So I put them in there because they'll be ready by the time I need to put other stuff in. Maybe not the broccoli. I was further along with the broccoli last year. I kind of put them in a little bit late. But definitely I can eat the cabbage. But spinach, kale, lettuce, arugula, fennel, they all love cold weather. So for next year, if you like any of those things, you can go ahead and plant those in around, you can start planting those in, well, where I live in Brampton. You can start putting those in the ones that are not covered the end of April, because they don't mind. The kale is fine with a light frost. They're fine. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, this weekend is our estimated last frost date is May 19th. But I've been checking the weather forecast, and that's why I was able to put tomatoes in my tower, and not my big tomatoes yet, my micro minis, because it's a little bit sheltered here, right there, because it's of the gazebo. It's a little bit sheltered, so they were okay to go in. And we haven't had any frost. There was a risk of frost last week, but we didn't get any. And what else did I want to tell you? Oh, this weekend, May long weekend, is notorious for everybody to go to the garden center. Oh, my hand is shaking. I'm gonna prop you up somewhere. Hi, I wanted to talk to everybody because this weekend is the long weekend. It's Victoria Day weekend, and the garden centers are going to be packed with everybody running to go get their plants and things. So I wanted to give you some tips about tomatoes. I'm gonna see if I can hold you. Okay, tomatoes 101. But when you go to the garden center, you're not gonna find, they're like micro purple and whatever, maybe micro tom, maybe. But you're definitely going to find Tiny Tim. Most garden centers sell Tiny Tim. Tomatoes 101. Before everybody runs out to the garden center, I wanted to give some tips, tomato tips, shopping tips. And, peppers not really, because they're all the same. But tomato tips. because my mom does this, and a lot of people do this, and they have this monstrosity of tomato plant. So there's two different categories of tomatoes. You have indeterminate tomatoes and determinate tomatoes. So an indeterminate tomato is a vine. It's a tomato vine, and they can grow 10 feet. I've even seen tomato vines that exceed 10 feet. They can even go up to 20 feet because it's a long vine. So they're gonna grow really, really tall. So keep that in mind when you're shopping. Then you have determinate tomatoes. So the reason why it's called indeterminate and determinate, the indeterminate, the vine one, the indeterminate vine, that will grow to an indeterminate length and produce an indeterminate amount of tomatoes, because they basically will keep growing until the frost kills it. So around here in southern Ontario, where I live in Brampton, the tomato plant will go 10 feet. If you live in Florida, that tomato plant may grow up to, 15, 20 feet, whatever. But it will grow for an indeterminate amount of time. Then you have your determinants. So those are determined height, and they produce all of their tomatoes at once. So if you want to do canning, like make tomato sauce or whatever, you're gonna go for a determinate tomato, because you can get all your tomatoes, do your sauce, and be done with it. Otherwise, if you have an indeterminate one, you're gonna have one here, one there, and it's not enough to produce the sauce. So having said that, I bet all of you know already what type of tomato plant is a determinate. And if you guessed aroma tomato, you're absolutely right. So aromas are determinate. So they will grow about 4 feet, 5 feet tall in a bush style, and they will produce all their tomatoes at one time. Now, something like a cherry tomato plant, those are usually vines, so they grow really tall, and they'll keep producing their tomatoes over the summertime. So when you go shopping, think of the space that you have and whether you want a determinate or an indeterminate type of tomato. So those are the two categories. Then there's I consider them 4 different types. So you're gonna have, like the micro tomatoes that I have. These are micro tomatoes, and these only grow up to 10 inches. So these are great this is an 11-inch space. So these are great for flower pots. If you have a flower pot and you don't have a garden space, but you have a patio or a terrace or a porch, one of these would be fabulous in that. And the ones that I have here, I grew from seed, so you won't find them in the nursery. But most garden centers do sell the tiny Tim. So if you see the tiny Tim, this is what you'll find. This is the size. Then you're gonna have your beefsteak. Your beefsteak is a determinant, so they'll make all their tomatoes at one time, and they'll grow up to 4 feet tall. If you're looking for like a brandy wine or a Cherokee, I'm thinking of ones that they're gonna be in the garden center. Cherokee purple, black crim, brandy wine, all your cherries. Let's see. Those are, I'm trying to think what else might be there. Lemon Boy, I believe. All of those, Samarzano, Sicilian Saucer, Italian Heirloom, those are going to be your indeterminates, and they will grow a little bit taller. Actually, a Samarzano is called a semi-determinate, where it produces its tomatoes over the season, but it only grows up to a certain height, which is about 4 or 5 feet. So think of your space that you're planting in. Then you have your dwarves. So you have your micros, which are under 10 inches. Actually, one here, my orange hat, this one little one here, this is only gonna grow 6 to 8 inches. So it's only gonna get a tiny bit bigger than this. Great for pots or a windowsill. Great for an apartment, condo, because this can go on a windowsill or in front of a window. They're great indoor tomatoes. If you want tomatoes in the wintertime, get yourself a packet of Tiny Tim seeds. Mackenzie sells them. So if you go to Canadian Tire, you can get a pack and you can grow these all winter. Okay, off topic. Reel myself back in. So you have your micro tomatoes, you have your dwarves, and I have a dwarf here somewhere. This is a dwarf. Dwarfs grow under 3 feet tall. Those you won't, yes, you can find that at a garden center. It will be called a patio. Anything that says patio tomato or patio, it's gonna be a short one. So patio will be about 3 feet. What else would be short? If you see celebrity tomato, that's going to be a shorter one. It's going to grow about 4 feet, but it's not very bushy. So that's good for like a pot. So those ones you could put it into a pot. This one here is called Purple Rain. For all your Prince fans, it's called Purple Rain, and that grows 3 feet. That I grew from seed as well. So you have your micros, you have your dwarves, you have your determinants, and your indeterminates. So your micros are under 10 inches. Your dwarves are 3 feet and under. You have your determinants, which are about 4 to 5 feet, and your indeterminates are like 10 feet tall. So think of the space that you have or that you want to grow in, and then choose your tomato. So the best thing to do is when you go to the garden center this weekend and you see a tomato in a pot, easily Google. If you see Cherokee Purple, you can Google is Cherokee Purple an indeterminate or determinate, and it will tell you. It'll tell you, and it'll give you an idea of the size that it will be and how it will produce, whether it's going to produce all at once or indeterminate, where it's going to produce all season. Usually indeterminates, they are about an 80-day to 100 days to get your tomatoes. So when you think of our weather, which is a Brandywine, which I grew at one time, the first time I gardened, I didn't get my first tomato until the end of August, which I waited all summer. So by the time it started producing, I had tons of green ones because I didn't have, the growing season wasn't long enough. So think of that. Usually your determinants are about 60 to 70 days, which gives you plenty of time to enjoy all your tomatoes. So your determinants are going to be less time. So also think of your timing and where you're growing. So if you're growing more in northern Ontario, your days, you might get your frosts in September. Here in Brampton, my first frost is about Thanksgiving. So I know I have that much time. And if I planted at the end of May, I haven't planted any of my big tomatoes there, I know how many days I have to grow. So also look, when you're picking your tomatoes at the garden center, also look how many days it's going to take for your first fruit to come onto the plant. So since then, I've stopped growing Brandywine. I don't even know why garden centers sell Brandywine in this area. Yes, the plant will grow. And yes, it tastes delicious because it's an heirloom. But you don't get enough of them. I think I only got like 4 and the rest were all like green. Where when I chose a determinant one, I got all my tomatoes by July. So what I did, is I stagger plant. So I have plants here I'm gonna put in there. So these are gonna produce tomatoes first, but I also have babies. They're in the front of the house. I wanted to show you, but I have them growing out on the front porch. But I started seeds for those because Tiny Tim, they germinate really fast. So even if you were to plant Tiny Tim seeds today, right in your garden, just put a couple seeds in there, you're gonna get tomatoes in August. So I can stagger, so I don't get everything at once. but I'm able to get a full harvest and an abundance of tomatoes. And that's why everybody, when they see my videos, like, how big is your garden? It's literally tiny, but I produce so much because I stagger plant, and I also use pots. So keep that in mind. You can stagger plant. So I have tomato seeds that have just been started. Those are all determinants. I have one that's actually called 42 day. So it actually will produce tomatoes in 42 days. So I'm just starting that one. So by the time my tomatoes come out in July, I can pull that plant out and put the other one in. So I succession, so that's very important, even with your zucchinis. So put a zucchini plant in, and then maybe a foot away from it, put a zucchini seed. So by the time that zucchini is done and finished, your other zucchini that you planted the seed will just start to begin to produce food. Because a zucchini from seed, you just put the seed in the soil, you'll get zucchini in 50 days. So don't go buy your zucchini plant, because literally you could get a pack of zucchini seeds for like $2.99 or under $2. Actually, go to Dollarama and they sell seeds. Get a zucchini pack of seeds. Zucchinis do not like to be transplanted. They like to be direct sowed. So just put a seed directly in your soil, and 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, put another seed in the soil. So that way you have a continuous harvest of zucchini. So if those tips helped you, I hope they helped you. But there's wonderful plants that you can direct sow. You don't need to go to the garden center. A lot of the stuff at the garden center you shouldn't buy. Don't buy your carrots at the garden center, because don't bother. Buy the seeds. Zucchini seeds, melon seeds, zucchini, melon, cucumber, carrots, your kale, your lettuce, all that jazz. Direct sow the seed. Just put the seeds in the soil and you'll get food. This is what I did. I literally took a whole pack of lettuce and just put it in a pot. They won't grow into a full head of lettuce unless I take a couple out and put in the garden bed. But these will be like, you know, when you go to the store and you get that plastic container with all the baby greens in, that's what that is. So I'll get a lot of baby greens from there and just in a pot. And inside of a pack of lettuce seeds is like $2-3. There's 1,000 seeds. There is a potential for 1,000 heads of lettuce for $2.99. Stick them anywhere. Stick them in your lawn if you want. But yeah, it's so easy to grow food. It's not difficult, especially when lettuce at the grocery store costs so much money. For one pack of seeds, you get 1,000 heads of lettuce for the same price as one head of lettuce. And lettuce you can grow inside all winter. A pot by the sunny window, put the seeds in, and you cut and come again. So basically, you don't pull it out. When you harvest, you don't pull it out. You're just gonna cut just above here. So I'm gonna wait these a little bit longer before I cut them. And you're just gonna cut like here. And it'll just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing. As long as you don't pull the root out, it'll keep growing. So it's called cut and come again. So grab a pot, throw a pack of lettuce seeds in there, and have lettuce all summer long. If any of these tips helped you, please let me know. And if you have a question or want to know something, let me know, and I'll do my best to help you out.